Hi, welcome to today's episode where we are going to begin developing our own Excel accounting software model from the scratch. So the idea is that the recording of the transactions are going to be separated into two main groups, which is the cash transaction and the non-cash transaction. The cash transaction is going to be recorded in the various cash books, and the non-cash transactions will be recorded in a journal double entry records. So the first is to create the cash books, and let us use the third rule. So we have the name, the supplier or customer, which is the payee, the reference or check number, particulars, the main classification, and then the item, and then the debit and credit amount. So this one is the main classification and the item. So this is going to be a sub item of the main item, main classification. Okay, so once we are done with this, remember a company could have more than one cash books. At least the company should have one bank account cash book, and then maybe cash, and even some companies, a lot of companies too also do have petty cash, accounts. So the idea is that we are going to make one, and then we are going to duplicate it, maybe creating seven journals for cash books. Okay, so once we are done with the dates, the idea is that we are going to use a table form. Okay, so to create a table, you can easily select the area, and then you go to insert, and then you click on the table. You select the table have headers, then you are good to go. Okay, so here is it. But this one we have a customized table, and to customize your table, all you need to do is to go to this side and then go to new table style. You can rename it as you like it. Let's say accounting. All right, so here you select the whole table, and then you go to format. What we basically want to do is to just use borders, but then you can fill the table with some colors. That is not our main focus. Our main focus is to create a border. So let us select this one. Outline should be here like this, and then the color, let us use maybe deep blue would do. Then we are done. We can choose to set it as the default table style for this document. Okay, so once we are done, we come and then we select it. All right, okay, so we are done with the first part. The second part is that we are going to create a conditional formatting, so that whenever entries are made over here, a new table or a new borderline would automatically appear at the bottom, right? This is not something you can do with the table itself. For the table, you need to make entries in here before it is going to stretch down. But we want it in a way that whenever you make entry here, the table should automatically come down and not you entering before it appears. And this can be done using the um, conditional formatting. All right. So let us go through the process. We can select the whole area and then go to conditional formatting. What we need to do is to create a new rule. All right. Then you use a formula to determine the cells to format, right? Now, in our formula, we are going to use the counter. What the counter do is that it counts any cell with any value at all. It is different from the count formula. All right, so we are going to create a counter of the top, right? And we are going to make it not a static one. although the A side is going, the column A is going to be static, but the rows are, it is not going to be static. Now we are telling it that when this side is there is a value at the top, right? Then the bottom should have a table, it should have a border, sorry. Then there should be a border, and we are going to use the same color over here. Okay, so we are done. Okay, but then there is a little flaw, which is that we want it to stretch down. Sorry, we want it to stretch down, so we need to go back to our conditional formatting, and then at the applies to, we want it to stretch down, so we can use maybe 1999, and then we okay it. So we are done with this side. We can test it for ourselves, right? So for instance, if I enter J, you see that the bottom also opens up, but then the table hasn't stretched yet. All right. Okay. Now, the next step is to format the whole sheet, right? We don't want to see these borders anywhere. So we go to the file, more, options, we go to the advanced, then we scroll down. Now we don't want to see the grid lines, right? The grid lines. So we turn it off. All right. So this time around, anytime you enter, you make entry over here, the down will automatically open for you. Once we are done, we are going to remove the rows and then the column headers. Okay. Now, like I mentioned earlier on, this one is going to be the cash books. So we can save it maybe CB1. This is the first cash book. So let us duplicate it. But before that, let us create a formula for the balance. All right, before we duplicate it. So for the cash book, we are going to use if, right, error. If this plus this plus this is going to give us error, let us clear it. Okay, so we want if error. This one, if you select it, it is going to give you the header. We don't want just the header, we want the row, and we don't want it to be static, right? So what the formula we are trying to create is that if this plus this minus this is an error, then we are going to use this minus this, right? And we don't want this side to be static, so we are going to use I3 plus, now this time around we can use this side, this minus this, then this minus this, simple as that. Okay, so this time around we want to this now, these are numbers, so we need to format it. So we just click on this to give us the value or the amount formatting. All right, now we can bolden it and then change the coloring to say this. Think this is nice. Okay, now let us create the duplications. But before that, we need to work on our chart of accounts. So let us do that in our next section. Thank you.